All right, so we are all done with day 5 of the Wealthy Trustee workshop, you guys. So we have done a lot for the entire week of this workshop. So Monday, we focused on setting up our business trust. Tuesday, we focused on setting up our asset holding trust, which is our family trust. Then we focused on day 3 on setting up our nonprofit 508c1a faith-based organization. And then yesterday we focused on applying for our EINs, learning about business credit and business funding, and doing board meetings and promissory notes. And then today we are finalizing today, you guys. So today we have focused on transferring assets. So we went through the asset inventory list. After that, we went and learned about how to fill out our quitclaim deed so that we can put property, specifically real estate, into our trust. And then we learned how to do a bill of sale for a vehicle so we could place a vehicle into the trust. We learned about filling out the business purchase agreement so that we can remove ourselves as being liable for a business and do an amendment with the Secretary of State so that we can remove ourselves as the authorized members and we can add the business trust as the authorized member. And then lastly, we had a guest speaker who came in and taught us specifically about the life insurance policies and how we can use those policies in order to eliminate debt and build wealth and have a marriage between those policies as well as our trust, to where our trust is going to be the owner, the payer, and the beneficiary of the policies. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor for Q&A for any questions that you guys might have. So I'm going to start with Tyrone. Hi, Tyrone.
How you doing, Christine? Uh,
Wonderful. How are you?
oh, I'm wonderful. Thank you. Great job. Once again, I appreciate you and all you do and all your team has done. Of course, I a little behind in some things, but my question here today was as far as that the IRS.gov and each one of those filling out, that whole process, getting the EIN number. It kept asking in the beginning about the grant, the person in the beginning, and you had to put your social. So, of course, I'm going to go back and review everything, but that individual uh, should not be you, right? If I'm not mistaken, I just want to make sure because I didn't go back yet and complete them yet because I'm behind, but I just wanted to make sure each one you did, it just seemed like it skipped, and so I never saw you put in that information as it went forward. So I just want to make sure going through that. Do you supposed to be the one that put your social in?
So the responsible party is the grantor. So you have to put the grantor's full legal name and their social.
Okay, okay. I just want, like I said, I kept missing, like it looked like it kept skipping. You know what I mean?
I,
Even
I
looking.
I didn't skip it. I came off of camera and that was intentional.
Oh, okay. So you no that I appreciate it, but like I said, it just kept looking like you skipped it. You know what I mean? Like it skipped past you, and then it went right to the place where I was like, I'm missing something. So, like I said, I appreciate you, sis, and now I understand. It makes sense now.
Yeah, I did it off of camera.
Yeah, no, you good now because, like I said, I thought it was me.
No,
So I'm
I said it while I was doing it. So I said, allow me a moment to put in that sensitive information and then I'll come back on camera.
no, you good, sis. Maybe like I said, I'm trying to multitask, trying to go back and forth. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you. Great job once again. You enjoy the rest of your day, sis. God bless you.
Thank you, Tyrone. I appreciate you too. Thank you so much for being here. So next we have Miss Meredith Rose. Hi, Miss Rose.
Oh, hi, Christina. Thank you. Thank you for everything. You are really astounding. I have a question about opening the bank account for the FBO. Do
Uh-huh.
I give the virtual address and my physical address to the bank? And do I need the virtual address to be printed on the checks? I'm just not sure how to do that.
Yeah, so the virtual address is the address of the trust. So when they are asking you for the address of the trust or the entity, they're going to ask you for all of the entity's information. That's when you're going to provide them with the virtual address. So you are going to use it for the bank, and it's best to have that address on your checks.
Okay, perfect. Thanks so much. Have a
You're so
great one.
welcome. Nicole. You too. Have a great weekend. All right.
Thanks.
Next we have Miss Kamala.
Hi, Christine. How are you? It
I'm
was
great. How
wonderful spending this week with you, although I was away for 2 days because I had work. But you did it, and so much information. God bless you for everything you're doing. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful job. I have so
Thank
many
you.
questions, but I'm gonna keep it short because there's this is all new for me, and I'm learning as I go by. So again, thanks once again. One of my first question is concerning the vehicle. I probably have asked this before. Just want to reconfirm. If you have a vehicle that you have not paid off for yet, and can you refinance it through the trust? Can you use the trust to refinance the vehicle? Can you do that, or that's not a good
Yes.
idea?
No, yes, you can. So if that's something that you want to do, to where you want the vehicle to be under the trust, you want the trust to be liable for that, that asset, then you're going to refinance your existing car loan in the name of the trust. So the trust is now going to have a car loan under your vehicle. So you'll refinance it, and now the title is going to be transferred into the name of the trust.
Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. And something going back to that. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Going back to your pay stub, dealing with the insurance. Like the young lady that was speaking, the insurance lady, what was her name? Greta? I don't know if I'm saying
Yes,
that right.
yes.
Yes. She mentioned something that when you put your paycheck in the bank, that the bank lends it out and make interest on it. How could that be the other way around? Where although you do put your paycheck in the bank, um, mm, can you put your check inside the trust so that you could pay your bills and everything out of it?
Yes, you can. You can. So I don't know if it's going to be done automatic through direct deposit with your employer. So you have to contact your employer to see if they're willing to do that. And so you can either contact the payroll company and give them the trust information and details. Another thing that you can do is you can attempt to get paid directly by the trust for your services, but usually that's in the space of being a 1099 contractor versus an employee. If your employer is not willing to do that, then your third option is to manually move your money from your personal checkings account into the trust account so that you're able to pay the bills for the trust, which are in a sense yours. So that could be your insurance premiums, that could be electricity, water, gasoline, car note, mortgage payments.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, thank you. Um, One other question that I had to ask, and this go back with your LLC. Like if you have an LLC and you're not making any money from it, do you still have to file a 1041 paper at the end of the year? Is it the 1041? I don't know if I'm saying that right. That paper
So
you have to go ahead.
um the 1041 is the tax return for the trust. That has nothing to do with an LLC. So an LLC, it depends on how you want to be taxed as an LLC. So for an LLC, you're either going to file taxes as a Schedule C on your 1040, or you'll do an 1120S if you're considering it as an S corp. So that's specifically for your LLC. Is that what you're asking? Like filing
Yeah,
taxes?
yeah, because I was just wondering if you make no money from it, if you still have to file for it at the end of the year, your business that the LLC entity is under, even though you have not make any money, if you still have to file that form at the end of the year for the LLC. I was just wondering.
So one is get with your tax preparer, so that they're able to look at your individualized, tax structure. The second thing is, the rule of thumb is if the entity doesn't make any money, it doesn't trigger a taxable event and you don't have to pay taxes on zero.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it because I know but thank you for that. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Thank you, Miss Kamala.
Okay.
Take
All
care.
right.
Next,
It was a pleasure. It was a
thank
pleasure.
you.
I hope we continue.
Yes, we
Oh,
definitely
one
will.
other question. I'm sorry. I know I have to go. Your next class, are we able to jump in, which is maybe sometime in January, or we are not? We have to pay different for that one.
You have lifetime access. You can attend all of the workshops. So the next
Oh,
one is
wonderful. Wonderful.
January to the 10th. So mark your calendar for January 6th to the 10th.
Oh yeah, if I miss anything, I could always jump in and see what I missed. Thank you. So once we do the paperwork, how long before we send it over to you? Once we
Uh,
fill out the
oh yeah,
paperwork.
whenever you're done. So whenever you're done, whenever you finalize it and you want me to review it, you can just send it over and me and my team will be able to review it.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. So next we have Miss Joyce. How are you?
Hey, hey,
Hello.
how are you? Okay,
Wonderful.
so real quick question. In reference to getting a virtual mailbox, a virtual address, do you have anywhere how to fill out this little crazy form? Because I started the virtual address form and then it's asking if transferring PMB mail to another address, at what point I'm kind of confused on that one. Is there one that's in your documents that we can follow?
I don't have the
Is the
step by
question.
step. Yeah, I don't have the step-by-step instructions. So there, when it comes to the virtual address, right? There has to be a person that's associated with it. And so in order for them to be compliant with the US Postal Service, they have to get a notarized document from you saying that they're able to receive mail on your behalf, and then they're able to transfer it to the address that you are choosing, right? So the virtual address is the address that you're going to be using commercially out in the public with the banks and stuff like that. And on the back end, you're saying that the mail is going to go there, but ultimately they're going to transfer it or even upload those mailing documents to you. So they are going to require you to have a notarized form. So there's no way of getting around it. Your account will not be approved without that notarized form.
Okay, I'm filling out that notarized form as we speak, but at some point it asks for a business address. At some point it asks for a business organization information. So on the business organization information, that's where I put the virtual address information, or is everything still my personal information until then?
So on the form, you're going to put your personal information. So you're not going to put the address that they are providing you with. Unless you have another address that you're using. So you're going to put the address where you want your documents to go. So if it's to your house or another address, you're going to put that information. right? They're receiving the mail for you, but you don't want them to keep your mail. You want them to be able to transfer that mail to you.
Okay. So my authorized individual. So basically, every time that they're asking something on this form, they're asking for my personal information, not the business information, even though it
Correct.
says business or organization information.
So are you applying for the actual address, or are you up, or do you already have an account with them?
Do you have an account with one? Okay, he has an account with one postal already.
Okay, so the form that you are filling out right now is you are already logged into your account, right?
Yes. So I'm on the PS form 1583.
Okay, absolutely. So there has to be a human attached to your account. They're asking for the human's information so that they can be compliant with the US Postal Service. They're gonna ask you for your
I,
driver's, they're gonna
I
ask you
got all of
for,
that part is filled out. It's all the way at the bottom where it says business organization information, name of business or organization, the type of business it is. The business street address would then be the one postal.
yeah, so if they're asking for the business organization, then they're asking you for your trust information. So you're gonna put the name of
All
the
right.
trust.
All right. Can y'all add that in? Would you consider adding that into your next thing? Because it still get a little confusing, but I do appreciate the support.
Okay, no problem. Yes,
Thank you.
that is wonderful advice. Thank you, Ms. Joyce.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too. You have an amazing weekend. Next we have Aset.
Hello.
Hi, Aset. How are you?
First, let me fan your flames. You look gorgeous in this purple. Is your
Thank
color? I
you.
hope so. Also, I would like
My
to.
color. Purple is
It's
my
mine
favorite
too.
color.
It's my favorite color too. So, my other thing was, I really want to appreciate you because everything that I said I was going to do or had set intention to do, it was all in this package. So you basically just kind of like seal the deal. When I tell you, when you put your intentions out there and you say what you want to do, if you mean what you are, manifesting, it's going to come. So I'm just very, very grateful. And so
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you and your team. You guys are wonderful. So these questions that I have, it says, when transferring to trust, will you lose your benefits tax exempt? Now, I'm prior military, so I have already set some things up where I am set up for tax exemption and so on and so on. So I know that these trusts have their own little perks too, but if that was, when things are transferred from me to the trust, will those benefits be lost simply because I'm no longer the owner?
So it depends on what it specifically is, because the tax exempt benefits that you have are for the individual, right? So it's for you, so it's attached to your name, attached to your social, right? So it depends on the company, on the county, on the institution, wherever you are, exempt. You have to contact them and let them know that you're transferring ownership to a trust, but you're still responsible and you want to maintain your tax exemption. So you have to go through that process of advising them, of the type of transfer that you're doing, and the reason, and that that you're still the person attached to the account or to the asset, so that you could maintain tax exempt, or the account can.
What would be the good reason?
The good reason.
Mhm. So if they were to
So
ask,
the reason why you're transferring the account
yes,
to protect the account, asset protection.
okay, fair enough. The other one was on the bill of sale for the vehicle. Who is the buyer? Pardon me if this is like an ignorant one. It's so much on my brain for me to actually calculate this right now. But it says on the bill of sale, who is the buyer?
So the buyer or the purchaser is, I'm sorry.
Who's the buyer and who signs it?
Yeah, so the buyer or the purchaser is the trust and the trustee signs it.
The trustee signs it. So although your name, you're selling it, you sign, and then you, as
You're
the,
selling it to an entity and you are the authorized signer for the entity that you're selling it to.
so your name shows up twice.
Yeah, your signature, but you remember you're gonna have a term after
CO.
the signature.
CO, right?
Yeah, so you're gonna have as trustee of, and then you're gonna have the name of the entity on the entire signature line.
Okay. Okay. On the purchase agreement, could the address be the registered agent?
So the address of the business needs to be consistent with the address that you have on the Secretary of State.
Purchasing, okay. What if you, I'll go back and double check. On the purchase agreement for the business, the seller is the business.
So the seller is the person who owns the business. So the seller is not the business. The seller, the business is the product that or the asset that's being sold. The seller is the person who owns the business or the entity that owns the business. That's the seller.
Okay. So there are multiple officers on it. Do all those officers have to be listed?
So whoever has ownership interests. So for example, if you're only selling half of the business, then and you have 50%, then on that agreement, it's just going to be you selling your 50%.
So what if no one has any ownership? If it's not structured in that way?
So how do you have a business with no owners?
Now, let me say this. This corporation had been purchased, right? And it was in 2008. So not much information or education had been acquired. So I happened to be the secretary, and the corporation was gifted to me. So the officers on the corporation, which is they're there, but it was for the sake of buying a corporation and having the officers there, but nobody is actually making this corp operate if they weren't. So now that I have taken over it, I'm still the secretary, but at the same time, the secretary has all the power pretty much. So I didn't do too much of moving people out the way, right? I just left it as is. So nobody has any kind of ownership, right? So it's kind of like in this limbo status, and that's why what we're doing here is adding that extra structure, that real structure. So I'm kind of like in this space of, okay, let's get this thing right. So that's kind of like where we are. Like nobody really have any, but on the bank account, I am considered the beneficiary. But
Okay. Oh, you don't, are you
the employment, nobody gets paid.
Okay, so you're talking about a corporation, are you talking about a C corp? or,
Yes.
okay. So with the C Corp, you have shares, right? And so everyone is a share officer, right? So a shareholder, those officers are shareholders.
No, I'm telling you, it was real kind of janky, but I mean, I don't want to say janky, but very little information, very little education. So,
Okay. So you have to do your due diligence when it comes to the company that was gifted to you. And if you need to restructure it because it's not structured properly, and you want to continue to operate that company, then get it restructured, because I've seen it so many times where people will set up businesses and it's not done the right way. When it comes to a C corporation, the business trust can be majority shareholder in the C corporation. Usually we'll do a 90-10 split. So that means that the business trust will own 90% of the shares, and the other 10% will have to be with the individual that's associated with it. So that could be you as the secretary. So that's how you would need to structure it or get it restructured, okay?
mhm, mhm. So when you, so to be honest, the trust can just start anew if it's really not structured properly, right? Since it's kind of like at that baby stage, both of them. The only thing is that one has a lot of age.
Yeah, I mean, an H corporation is good, so you could use it for funding purposes. So you can just get it restructured and get funding for it.
Okay, do you show how to restructure it? You know.
So it's exactly what I showed you today, which is you're going to do you're going to do an amendment with the articles of incorporation, and you're going to document that 90% of the shares are going to the business trust and the other 10% is going to go to you. Then you're going to submit that amendment to the Secretary of State where that corporation was formed. So now that it's restructured, then you're going to get with Brian Dorsey so that you can get funding for the corporation.
Now, when you were on the SOS page, yours was different from mine. Can you please um, guide me, because they had amend of articles, and I wasn't quite sure if that was the right one. So the corporation that is obtained is in Colorado. And I'm not sure if I'll be linking, going to the right link. So can you please show me? Because I did, see some stuff, but it wasn't set up the same way as yours.
Do you have a login ID? Do you have a login for the corporation?
It just, once I put the information in, it pulls it right up, and then I would do those adjustments and pay the fees. So it's not like a login. Unless, yeah, it's not a login.
Okay, so you're asking me like which form? Like
Yes,
is there many forms? I
it
mean,
said,
I've done it for Colorado. It was a couple months ago, so I don't remember. So I just can't go based off of memory.
are you able to go to coloradosos.gov?
Yeah, but if I don't have the entity's information, so I'm not able to do it right now. So if you have something individual that you would like me to assist you with, then book a one-on-one with me next week so that I'm able to assist you with that particular thing.
Mhm. Okay, so all of them are not, what is the name of that link that you went into? Because mine said different. It says,
So yours has to say amendments. So it could say amendments to a corporation, amendments to a company, amendments to a business. So you're
article,
looking. Hmm?
articles of, articles of amendment, perhaps?
Yes.
Hmm,
Yeah,
okay,
so you are amending your articles.
okay, all right, okay, totally different form, but I'll piece it together. And okay, so I think this probably the last one. Can you do this? So we did it. Okay, I think my questions have been answered. Yeah, okay, we're good. All right, sounds good. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
You're welcome, Aset. Thank you so much. Next we have a iPhone 13. I'm not sure who this is. Can you let me know who this is?
Hi, this is Andres. I forgot to change my name.
Oh, this is who?
Andres, here in Florida.
Oh, Andres. Okay, how are
Yeah,
you?
good, good. Sorry about that.
Not a
I
problem.
I had a few questions. If if you open, if you have existing accounts, for example, an account for your LLC, and you switch the ownership, right, into a trust, or yeah, the membership. Do you need to notify the banks of any existing accounts you have, like checking accounts? Yeah, that now it's not you, it's some trust, or should you close
Yeah,
this and then open new
no,
ones, or
yeah, no, don't close it. Don't close it. You just have to update the bank to let them know that that a trust owns the company and that you're the trustee.
okay? That answers that then. Will the Secretary of State, I have a when I got a PO box, they gave me the actual mailing address of the PO, or I'm sorry, of the postal office there, and said, you can use this, and then it had like a unit number for my post office box, and they said, for larger packages. So it ends up being an address with unit number, whatever it ends up being. Let's just say 150, and then it's got the city. Do you know if that would work as your your virtual address if you put it in like that, as opposed to PO Box 150? You put in the address and then Unit 150, because I've done it before with Unit 150 for like packages, but I wonder if that comes up as a post office, and especially like in some of these government agencies.
So it actually will. So it'll work as a virtual address because it appears as a commercial unit and with like a suite number or unit number. So you want to use the physical address versus the PO box address.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because if I do it, I mean, I was like, maybe this will work. I didn't know if you knew. The other question is, you mentioned C corps, and I asked you this once before, but I just have like, I don't know if you know, if I was to change the ownership of an S corp and do like a 90% of the shares going into a trust. When I've looked into it, and again, this is in Florida, I don't know if you know, but I mean, can you have a trust own an S corp? That's where, because I remember when I was reading it, it said something about must be, I don't know what it says, if it's a U.S. res or U.S. citizen, or maybe it's individual and a corporation, or I don't know how they treat that. But do you know if you can with an S corp do that and have it owned by a trust?
So so a trust, it has to be a specific type of trust. It has to be a specific type of trust. It's only like one type of trust. So I don't remember the actual name of it, for the S corp.
Okay, but with these trusts that we're like, for the business trust that we're creating here, that probably wouldn't. I don't know if that would that work, or as what was that?
No, so it'll work for LLCs and corporations.
But it is an S corp. That's what I'm saying. Would it work for an S corp?
C corporations.
Oh, C corporation. So when you say S corporation, that they're not calling that a corporation then, right? That's like an S corp. You have to make the distinction.
Correct. An S corp and a C corp are two different entities.
Yeah, I know that. I'm okay. All right. So with an S corp, it won't work. I thought there was that too. And then the other question is just, I just wanted to make sure when you're signing as the trustee, if it's the seller or the company, then you just sign your name as trustee for the corporation. That's actually how you put it on the printed out part too, as well, right? Like where
As trustee of the trust.
as trustee of the trust. Okay. Let me see. I think that is Oh, the other one, the registered agent. So the registered agent could be another LLC or whatever. It doesn't actually have to be an LLC that's active. It has to be active, but it doesn't actually have to be active in business. It can be a disregarded entity where it's not filing taxes. It's just one that's been open. As long
Correct. As long as it's an active entity.
okay. Um, I think that's it. Yeah, the other questions I have is really just about what to do with this S corp. But thank you so much. It's been a good course again. Very, very informative.
Thank you, Andres. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, next we have Olu.
Hello, can you hear me?
Perfect. How are you?
I'm doing well. Again, I'm just re-echoing what everybody is saying. This is a phenomenal class. Like I said Monday, there are things here that make sense to me than a lot of classes I've taken. I have a few questions. I'm gonna go down it. What's your opinion on 9/8 numbers? Where do you use it best? Where do you recommend? Okay, go ahead.
So if you have a 9/8 number, you have to think what was the reason that you actually got the 9/8 number. Do you have a 9/8 number?
Yes.
Okay. So you want to use the 9/8 number for what for its original intended, reason or purpose that you got it for. So other than that, people usually use it in order for them to be exempt from taxes, in order for them to be outside of the jurisdiction of the United States. So that's why they'll go down that route. Usually it's not for people who have social securities, and it's for entities that have originated outside of the United States. So usually you'll use it, in order to get a bank account or in order to purchase assets for that entity.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'm not sure why you got a 9/8 number. So I don't have like a specific strategy for you. So I'm
mhm.
not sure why you went down that route.
Okay, it's for international purposes. So I was just asking with what we're doing right here, it says it must be in the United States. How can you tie it in to it? But if it has to be separate, that's fine. My second question is, I'm in Maryland and it does not allow transfers of entities. You have to create it, which bothers me about it. So with the entities I already have that are from out of state, what is your opinion on how to better use it with what I'm creating here in Maryland?
Okay, so I have to better understand. So when you say they don't allow transfer of entities, what do you mean? So are you referring to the Secretary of State?
Yes, I'm referring to the
Okay,
Secretary of State in terms of um, the LLC portion, because these
okay,
are LLCs in another state. So I can't transfer them into Maryland as an LLC or move them. Neither can I. I think I'm not too sure. I don't think it allows me to have it as an international, to register it as an international either in Maryland. In Virginia, it does, but in Maryland, it does not.
okay. So
So,
Okay, so you're saying that you have existing entities, LLCs, and that you form them in other states.
yes, before moving to
Okay, so
Maryland.
what state are they in?
One is in Maryland, and the second one, that one technically is just an EIN because I wanted to open an account, and there was a slight mistake on when I formed the Wyoming LLC, and the banker just said I should just go get another EIN. So I did not register with the Secretary of State. I just opened the bank account just to satisfy him, and they gave me another EIN for that one. So technically, I don't have a second SOS entity for the second one, but I have that Wyoming one, and that's a Series LLC.
Okay, so you have one LLC that's in Maryland and the other one that's in Wyoming.
No, I have an LLC in Wyoming, and I just have a separate EIN in Texas that I used to open an account. I initially
Okay,
wanted to,
so the EIN, you use the Texas address.
yes,
And what kind of entity is it?
that's the issue. I wanted to open it was the Wyoming LLC, and I just wanted to open a commercial bank account for it, but they wouldn't allow me because the name had one letter that was off. And rather than just let me open it, they said I had to go get another EIN, which is different from the EIN I got for the Wyoming LLC. So I don't have an LLC in Texas. I just have an EIN. It has the same name, but the bank account is I use the EIN from Texas. So my question is, since I can't transfer it, do I just transfer ownership or close it? Because I'm trying to find a way to move it to the trust. That's in
Okay,
essence.
you want to move the Wyoming LLC or you want to move this EIN? So you have to understand that that your entity, it could have multiple employer ID numbers. So that EIN that you're talking about that is in Texas, it belongs to the Wyoming LLC, right?
Okay. Okay. That was
It's
what I
not a
intended.
it's not a separate entity. So
Okay.
that Wyoming LLC has two EINs.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know that.
So okay. So now you said Maryland doesn't allow transfers. So are you saying that you're wanting to transfer your Wyoming LLC to Maryland? Is that what you're stating?
Yes, my come from was now that I'm in Maryland, I want everything to start from here. I don't care what's out of state. Until I understand how to run a business, it wouldn't do me any good to just have something hanging there. Which, by the way, all I have is an account. I haven't earned any income, even though the LLC has been established for a little over 2 years, going on three. So my goal is to just bring everything together so I can be able to learn and operate it properly. So
Okay. So with out-of-state entities, if you want to do business in a state where that LLC is not formed in, you have to register it in that state as a foreign entity.
yes,
So so that's what you would have to do. You would have to register it through the Secretary of State as a foreign entity in Maryland in order to
yeah,
pull that LLC from Wyoming into Maryland.
yes, which Maryland doesn't allow. Virginia does, Maryland doesn't allow.
So you're saying that Maryland doesn't allow you to register a foreign entity?
Yes, or transfer it. But Virginia allows me, and I don't live in Virginia.
Okay, so what do they want to do? Because a transfer is them actually recognizing your entity from Wyoming, but you actually setting it up brand new in Maryland is what you would do for that foreign entity. So you would set it up from scratch.
So you want me to just open up a new one? Maybe I'm
So
not conveying what I'm trying to get out properly. I just want to figure out a way to which my trust owns the Wyoming LLC. I don't necessarily need to be hard-nosed in transferring it. Do I just do a conveyance that just like the trust owns something in any other state? Will that be a better option?
So your trust can own assets nationwide.
Okay.
Your trust can own the Wyoming LLC. The LLC doesn't have to be transferred to Maryland.
Okay.
So the way that you are structured right now with your trust being your LLC being in Wyoming, you can still place that LLC into your business trust. And you can
Okay.
do an amendment with the Secretary of State in Wyoming. You don't have to transfer it out of the existing state that it's in. That's
Okay.
that's unnecessary because then
Okay.
you'll have this LLC registered in two different states.
Yes. And
So
Maryland is, yeah. Okay. Well,
so
thank you.
that LLC should stay in Wyoming. That's why you put it there. You put it there for a reason because
Hmm.
Wyoming has favorable laws for businesses.
Okay.
You
Okay.
shouldn't you shouldn't transfer it to Maryland. So what you're trying to accomplish with having your business trust be the owner of your LLC, you can still accomplish that. The only issue that you'll face is the type of business that you want to the type of business transactions that you want to do because that's a Wyoming LLC, you can only do business in Wyoming. So a lot of
Okay.
people are confused. They think that they can do business all over. No, you can only do business where you set up that LLC.
Hmm. Okay. I think I already booked a consult for next week, so maybe there will be time to explain how to make that Wyoming LLC work for me than the way I have it right now. So, but I appreciate you explaining. I don't need to transfer it. My second question, um, you said, I think day before yesterday, you mentioned that it's best to have a separate virtual address for both the family and the ministry, different from the business one, to maintain your, I guess, some sort of separation of the private versus the public. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, okay. Thirdly, for us that don't have properties like real estate property that still rent, is there any way, in your opinion, what is your opinion on how to structure it right now till you get real estate properties?
So your leases can go into the name of the trust. So if you want to transfer your lease, you have to contact the owner and let them know that you want the lease to be in the name of your entity. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
so the trust is able to rent properties, buildings, locations, units, you name it.
Okay. So you just have to do the transfer first and then give them a notice, or how does that work? I mean, like
No,
in terms of setting up
no,
your bank account.
you have to set up your trust, get your bank account, and then contact your landlord or whoever is the management company.
Okay.
And, and,
Okay.
and it's at their discretion.
I got you. I got it. I got it. That's all the questions I have right now. Um, this is just because Andreas mentioned it and you had answered this question. What is a disregarded LLC? I mean, what is it? I just heard about it now, so I'm asking what it is.
I don't have the definition for it. I
Okay.
don't talk I don't talk about LLCs. I don't teach
Okay.
about it. I just teach you how to actually protect them.
It,
Okay.
it I'll chime in real. I mean, my understanding is it's just an LLC that doesn't have to file because it's not it hasn't reached that threshold. So it's looked at as a disregarded entity. For example, if you have an LLC that's just holding a piece of property and it's not doing anything, then you don't have to file. And that's what I had for years with my LLC. And then I got rid of the property, but that's what my accountant had told me. It's just, the IRS looks at it as a disregarded entity until it actually does something. And so I
Okay.
sold at a slight loss, so I didn't have to file anything. Had I made money, would have been a different story.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
That, that's all I have, Christina. Thank you very much again for the education. I look forward to talking to you next week.
Thank you, Olu. Thank you so much. Next we have Nia. Hey, Nia.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so you mentioned to someone they was speaking about like a car loan, and you were saying that you can refinance your car loan and put it into the trust. So my whole total question is about loans, lines of credits, all these things. Can loans, lines of credits be attached to a trust, or does it have to be personally guaranteed? Can it be only attached to the trust?
It depends on the bank it depends on the bank or the financial institution who's doing the loan, if they require personal guarantees or not.
Okay.
So, but you can have loans, lines of credit, mortgages, credit cards that are solely attached to the trust.
Okay. And in your experience, do you have any companies that you have seen these things happen with the lines of credit, loans, credit cards, mortgages, anything like that that were only attached to the trust, no personal guarantee?
Yes. So, I don't have like a list for you, but like I know Chase Bank, you can get a credit card or a line of credit with solely with the trust. I know of what is the name of that bank? I cannot remember. I don't have it on the top of my head. I know Wells Fargo is one of them. I know, what is the name of that bank? Navy Federal Credit Union, and then other credit unions as well. Signature Federal.
Mm-hmm.
There's two or three other banks that the name escapes me, but with them you can also have like lines of credit.
Got it. Thank you so much. Okay. So my next question is, I have an LLC. The LLC is named, let's say with my first and middle name. So my first and middle name is Nia Marie. As we are clearly doing this for asset protection, do you think that I should, I guess, create another trust separate from any other, assets and things like that that I have so far that I'm putting into these business trusts and things now, that so that I can separate this LLC that has my actual real name attached to it for a personal brand? Or should I like create like a middle entity in between it? So like put like a corporation that owns this LLC, so that is like, you understand what I'm saying? Like a step between the trust and the LLC that's named after me.
So you should set up a separate business trust that doesn't have any other assets in it, just to own the LLC that has your name.
Okay, perfect. Now, my next question is, okay, yeah. So when signing anything, obviously you said put the name of the trust as the signature, print it. Then the next line or underneath that, or maybe on the same line, you put your name and then put as the trustee of, as trustee of blank trust, right? So do I sign my name or print it as well?
You're gonna put your signature.
Got it.
So if there's a printed name that's necessary, you're gonna print the name of the trust.
Mhm. Sorry about that. Okay, now. That's it. Thank you.
You're welcome, Nia. Next we have Uzi. Uzi, do you have a question? You're next, but you're still on mute. All right, next we have Shirey.
Hi, thank you so much for a wonderful week
Thank
and
you.
sharing your information. I have a couple of questions.
Yes, ma'am.
The first question is when you contact the bank regarding putting the trust as the owner now, do you get whole new checks and change the address on the checks and so forth? Or you can leave it the same?
That's a really good question. So you have to open up a brand new account for your trust. So the account that you have is perhaps a personal checking account. So you can only make the trust the beneficiary of your personal account, and then you have to open up a separate account specifically for the trust. So everything's going to be brand new for that trust account.
Well, I was speaking specifically of the business trust. I have a
It's the
business
same.
account.
It's
I
the
have
same thing.
it's the same.
So that business account, as long
Uh-huh.
as that business is going to remain intact, you're going to keep that business account.
Okay.
So you're going to make the business trust the beneficiary of that business account.
Okay. So I can leave everything the same and just contact the bank with the certificate and tell them the owner is now the trust.
No. So your business account is going to
Mm-hmm.
remain in the name of the business. You're going to contact the bank to let them know that you want the beneficiary to be the business trust. Then you're going to get a brand new trust account for your business trust. It's going to be a separate account.
Okay. So the first thing is just letting them know the beneficiary is the business trust and then open a separate business account
Yeah,
somewhere.
it's not a business account. Business accounts are
I'm
only
sorry, the business
statutory.
trust account.
It's just a trust account for an irrevocable trust.
Okay. Okay, let me repeat it to make sure I understand it. Contact on my current business account. I just let the bank know that the beneficiary is the business trust.
Correct.
And then I open a business trust account somewhere else. It doesn't have to be
It's not a business trust account. It's just
just
a trust account for
oh,
an
trust
irrevocable.
account. Okay.
You don't want to walk in there and tell the bank that you're opening up a business account for a trust. They are going to turn you away because business accounts are only for statutory entities.
I
They
see.
have to be able to look up that entity on the Secretary of State. You're going to
Okay.
open up a trust account.
Okay. Trust account. Make sure I say that. Don't say business trust. Okay. Second question is a person referred me. I think KH is on here now. Referred me to your course and I signed up without him getting the affiliate. Can we still do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for letting me know.
Okay.
So, I will reach out to him. Is it
Okay.
last name is Olland?
Yep.
Got it. It's in my
Okay.
head.
All right. Thanks.
You're
Have a
welcome, Sharon.
great weekend and until next time. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Absolutely. Next we have Chance. You guys, I'm gonna limit the questions because I have a hard stop in 15 minutes. So I'm just gonna finish off with Chance, Aset, and Nia. Uzi, are you still on? Because I didn't hear from you. Are you still available?
Yeah, I am. That was Gerda had just called me trying to talk to me about setting up my IUL. I told her I was with you, so I just got off the phone. I just got off the phone.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so go ahead with your question.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. My question was real quick and real simple. Do I have to when I'm trying to? Do I need to set up an account for some type of credit, like to get a revolving line of credit with my business trust? Is that possible to do that? I was thinking about taking my my NAV that reports my business credit and canceling that subscription and getting a subscription for the EIN number that is under my business trust, so that I can have a trade line on that EIN number. Is that necessary, or do I not need to do that?
No, it is. So if you want to start building business credit for the business trust, you can do that. So yesterday I had emailed a list of the top net 30s. And so nav.com and the nav boost is one of them that I have listed on there. So you can get a nav account, which is highly recommended, and that will report as a trade line. So so yeah, you can go down that route. First, what you want to do is you want to create that DNB number, that Dun and Bradstreet number, and then you can move forward with trying to establish trade lines.
Oh, okay, cool. So, should I do that for any one of my other trusts, or only for the business trust?
You only want to do it for the business trust. You have to know and understand that if you're going to build credit for the business trust, you're going to be pulling the business trust into the public, meaning that you're having now commercial transactions and it's going to have a public profile, which is that credit report or that credit profile that you're going to be establishing with DNB.
Okay. All right. Because I'm on my way to go down here to Fidelity right now and get an account started and things like that. So I can do all of that after. Okay, thank you. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I greatly appreciate it. I think I had something else, but I'll save it for the next time. I think I'll just book a one-on-one meeting with you, and I'll talk to you.
All right, sounds good, Uzi. You take care. Have a good weekend.
You do the same, my good sister.
All right, thank you. Next we have Chance. Hi, Chance.
Hello, hello. Thank you again. This was an awesome week. Felt like I was in school, like I took an actual degree in trust services. This was good. So this was better than school, really and truly. A couple of quick questions, just to reiterate. So the grantor, though, because I know my grantors, can they serve on the board? They don't have a
No,
role. They can't serve on the
no,
board either. Okay.
no.
Alrighty. Where do we email you if we wanted to kind of review our documents before they get notarized?
You can send it to the email where you receive all the correspondence. So it's
Okay,
info@7ways2wealth. I'm gonna put it in the chat. And sorry, I have put it in all caps. My apologies.
that's fine. That's fine. Okay, last one. On the signature pages for each of the documents, right? Now, if you have the grantor, my situations, both of them are in different states. So would I be putting two sets of counties? Because they're going to be signing theirs in their location, I'm signing in mine. But I know, for example, it says, okay, in my county here in Texas. So am I putting two counties? Their county for where
So
they're signing and where I am signing.
So what you want to do is you want to have county and then you want to have a blank line and then they'll write in the name of their county. And then you can just put state of, I think Texas, state of Texas, and then county. So you'll have just a line there for the notary to fill it in.
So just a line for, I mean, for them on their end or on my
So
end?
it's the same document. So just on the actual document.
Okay.
So
All
your
right.
so you're gonna send your signature pages to your grantor. They are going to get it notarized. So they'll put in their county and then they'll send it back to you.
Okay, and then I just signed that then.
Yep.
Okay. But the other, all of the stuff before that though is going to be my county, where I'm setting up the actual trust account. Those don't
Correct.
change.
Correct.
Okay. Alrighty. Thank you, ma'am. I really appreciate it. God bless you.
God bless you too. Thank you so much. All right. So next is a set.
I'm going to be super quick with the host of somebody else taking that time away. I just have one question. When it comes to setting up that VOI, where you put us at the SOS page, is that where the VOI submission is? Is that where it goes?
No. So give me one second.
I was hoping that was a yes.
No, so the BOI is with a separate organization. That separate organization is called FinCEN, and that's where you would do it. So, yesterday, there was a federal judge in Texas that is blocking the enforcement of the Corporate Transparency Act nationwide. So I want you to do your due diligence.
Yeah, I
And
kind of like that same message right here from somebody that was talking about it. Sent it to me. I don't know how valid it is, but it's saying that they put
so
a call.
do your due diligence to find out. So I just put an article in the chat for you guys, okay?
Is that the page where if they happen to do all this and it goes through, is this the page where we can go ahead and
No,
submit?
no, this is just an article that's explaining that they're doing away with the requirements.
Thank you very kindly.
You're
Enjoy your
welcome.
weekend.
You too. All right, next we have Nia.
Okay, I'm here. So quickly, the question is, should all businesses have their own trust when they operate in public? And then the example that I have here is that business trusts that don't operate in the public are holding companies that hold business used assets, an example, vehicles, real estate, currency, investments, etc. Is that statement correct? And is the first question, should businesses that operate in the public have their own trust?
So with businesses that operate in the public, you can have one trust that can own multiple businesses. So it just depends on how you want to structure it. So I would tell you that if you have a high liability business, you want it to have its own trust. If you have a low liability business, then you can have that one trust that is acting as a holding company be the owner of multiple LLCs or businesses. And then the statement that you said is true. So a business trust is private and it depends on however you want to operate it. That would then, the contract is going to remain private, but how you operate it is going to, ensure if it's available to be known about in the public.
Got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. So, Andres, do you have a question up?
Yeah, just real quick on if you move a business into the business trust, then you could be filing tax or with the IRS for the business trust and whatever entities you have in there as well, depending on if they have a tax liability or not, right? It's not like okay, so you'd have more. So by doing this, if you already have an existing business, you're going to have another tax filing. But hopefully lower your tax.
Because it's a separate entity, so it's gonna have, you're now gonna be filing a 1041.
Okay. Right, that was it. So,
All right, perfect. Angela, do you have a question?
Really quick. So the grantor can't serve on the board of either trust? Is that the same for
Correct.
all three of the?
Correct. The grantor can't be nothing else but the grantor. They cannot be anything else.
Perfect, thank you.
Yes. All right, guys. So I do want to give you homework. So 2 pieces of homework. The first one is, oh, you know what? I think I have 3 pieces of homework. So the first one is you have received a survey in your email, and that is just going to let us know how we did during the workshop. So please go ahead and let us know, your comments, questions, and concerns in the survey. We would appreciate that because we always want to improve your experience here in the workshop. So thank you so much. The second piece of excuse me, I'm getting confused. So the second piece of homework is for you to book your one-on-one call with me so that I'm able to help you with your individual structure or situation or circumstance. And if you want me to be that second set of eyes when it comes to verifying that, all of your documents look good before you go get them notarized. The third piece of homework is for you to go ahead and book a call with our insurance specialist so that she's able to look at your financial structure and be able to assist you with getting the ball rolling with your with these policies. Okay. And then the last thing I want to say is if there's anybody who wants to come off mute and if they have any want to give us any feedback of their experience here at the workshop, I would really, really appreciate it. So let me know how your experience has been this entire week-long workshop. If anybody wants to come off of mute and give us like a quick testimony or just their feedback overall on how things went for them for the week, I would appreciate that.
I'll do it because I know how reviews are very, very helpful. I'm very grateful. I wish you had another class to join just because you're so thorough and you have your package together. So thank you guys to your team. I look forward to joining another class if you guys have something.
Thank you so much, Asset. I really appreciate that. And that's why we give lifetime access so that you are able to join each and every time
It's
that
not a parking lot. You can't leave your car here for days.
So sorry, somebody came off of mute. So thank you so much, Asset. I appreciate that. Anybody else have a few words?
This is Joyce. This is
Okay.
Joyce. I am so glad that I jumped on the line with my husband who told me he was doing this because he doesn't necessarily relate stuff where I can help him. It's in his head, and now it's in my head, so I can see where he's going with things. Very informative, very appreciative. Thank you for being very thorough. And one suggestion is let's do a 5-minute break in between time so I don't miss anything. Thank you. Amazing.
Thank you so much, Miss Joyce. I really, really, really appreciate that feedback. And that is definitely valid. We do need to do a 5-minute intermission at some point in time. And even for me too, because I get thirsty and all kind of stuff. So it would be a benefit and a win-win for both of us. So thank you so much, Ms. Joyce. I appreciate you being here and for your husband inviting you into this community because you guys are one unit and you definitely want to know this information and implement it for your family and your legacy. So thank you so much for being here, Ms. Joyce.
Now he'll receive less pushback because I understand now. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Exactly. Anybody else has a few words that they want to say before we wrap up?
I'll chime in. This
Okay,
is my
thank you, Ms. Angela.
This is
Wait, who
my
is it?
third workshop. I'm sorry.
Okay, go for it. So sorry.
This is my third workshop and it's been phenomenal. I've actually been in trust law and contract law for about 14 years now, and I've never, hear me, never seen anything this thorough. I am super excited to be working with you, super excited to refer more people to you. You're doing an amazing job, you and your team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Angela. I appreciate that so much. And I love the fact that you keep coming back to the workshops and adding so much value. So thank you so much for being a wonderful member here in the community. And thank you for even putting yourselves in the position to where you feel like the information is so valuable that you will refer us to your friends, family. So thank you so much, Miss Angela. Appreciate you so much. And we want to see you in January if you have the time and freedom, because like one of these people said, it's like having a university. Like this whole week is like a cram course. So thank you, Miss Angela, and you have a beautiful weekend.
Absolutely, same to you.
Thank you. Any other final questions or anybody want to say anything else before we wrap it up?
This is Nia.
Hi, Nia.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, I've been on this journey since 2013 of just even knowing that trust exists. That's when I first discovered it. I think I got like a trust in like 2014, nothing in it. I got another trust like this year or last year, nothing in it. And the reason why is because I really didn't even understand it. And now I actually feel so empowered to understand it, where I could even explain to somebody else, maybe even help them figure out like what to do. Like it's just, this is the best thing that anybody could ever do for themselves that actually want to be on this journey and actually accomplish and fund their trust and know what to do with it. I'm so grateful.
Thank you so much, Nia. I just appreciate you being here and asking good questions and even bringing that up, because that is the whole reason for our community and our program is to empower people and for them to get the knowledge and education so that they can apply it. Because the one thing that I know for sure is that if you don't apply the knowledge, then you're not going to reach those goals or be successful in whatever endeavor that you are wanting to do. So now that you feel empowered to the point that you know how to operate it, to the point that you know how to help someone else get their affairs in order is phenomenal. And that is the whole reason why we put this thing together. So thank you so much, Nia, for shedding light on that and for for being here, for taking that leap of faith, especially with you knowing about trust and already having trust. So thank you so much, Nia.
I have
Um,
a comment.
yes, ma'am.
I too am greatly appreciative. I was very shy coming in. KH introduced it to me when he first got started, and I said, I was involved in, excuse me, in 2015, I was involved in a similar trust program, and I spent a lot of money, and this is nowhere near the information that I've gotten from this. And I was telling him I feel so overwhelmed. I know I'm gonna have to go back through it, but thorough, you've been very thorough, and I appreciate you and your team because you respond when I send emails or notes. You respond quickly, and so I'm not shy about it anymore. I'm not afraid anymore because I'm in a transitional position. I'm a little older and I'm in a transitional position. And this has really opened my mind, opened my, even, excuse me, I was telling KH when we did when Mr. Dorsey was on, how just him going through the steps that he went through really opened my mind in how to operate my business differently. So I'm greatly appreciative of you, your team, your resources that you brought in. And I just didn't even know anything about the insurance. So that opened up another whole realm for me. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful and I'm humbled for
You
the
you are
knowledge and the experience.
Thank you so much, Ms. Shari, for being here and for taking that leap of faith as well. I'm just so glad that you are here because now you are equipped. And I feel like I could hear it in your voice that you came in shy, but you stayed the entire workshop and you got the information and now it's registering and you feel like, like you're no longer shy, like you can go out and do this. You feel that sense of empowerment that we
Right.
want to instill in you. And it's just so, so, so powerful that you're doing this for you and your family, and you're in this transitional phase where you know that it's time to get your affairs in order. And
Right.
I appreciate those kind words. So thank you for joining the community. Thank you for asking good questions. Thank you for adding value. And I'm grateful to KH for bringing you on board. And we look forward to just to continue to be a resource for you.
Yes,
So
thank you.
book that one-on-one so that we can
Man.
talk further. Yes, ma'am.
All right.
So we can talk further. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then Mr. Keith. You're on mute. You're on mute.
There we go. Okay.
All
Hello,
right.
how you doing, Christina?
Good. How are you?
Good. Hi, everyone. Hey, listen, this has been my first experience, and there was a few people that were offering a similar course. Man, I have to say, I mean, through all the struggles, I've been at work all week and fighting to be fully a part of the seminar all week or even partially in and out due to circumstances. But I have to say, whenever I was in or all the way in, it was so completely thorough. I'm going to have to go through it and actually do it because, I had some technical issues. But I still feel very, very, very confident to be able to get this thing done. And you did a tremendous job. You are very professional, and you just step 1, step 2, step 29, step 57. You did a great job. You did a great job. I am looking forward to doing more with you. I am going to be the one that's kind of behind everybody else because I got a lot of catching up to do, but I'm going to do it. And the value is incredible. Value
Thank
is
you so
incredible.
much.
Very well worked.
Thank you so much, Mr. Keith. I appreciate you being here and especially juggling your job and the workshop. I know that's a handful, but you still dedicated your time to being present, to asking good questions, and to just getting access to this information. So I want to say thank you so much. And we're here to hold you accountable. So we're not going to let you fall behind. Don't think that.
There you go.
So like you said, step 1, step 2, step 59, step 60, like we are going to follow up with you. We're going to make sure that whatever we can do as a team collectively to help you, as a community collectively to help you, get to that finish line, just know that you have our full support, our guidance, and use us as a resource so that you're able to reach the goals. That's what you came here with. You came here with goals to protect your assets, to establish your estate. And so that's what we are here to make sure that that you get to those goals. So thank you so much for just being here and for adding value. We appreciate you so much. So thank you, Mr. Keith.
You're most
You are
welcome, Christine.
Thank you. All right, guys. So thank you so much. So my hard stop is now at 3:30. I gotta go get my kids from school, but I just want to say God bless everyone. Thank you so much for being here and for just, being a part of the community. It is just so valuable. So everyone, please, network with each other, get into the Facebook community, get into the Telegram chat so that you guys are able to get familiar with one another, so that you guys are able to assist in any and all capacities. We are going to be putting some events together. So I'm coordinating with an event planner so that I can get something up and running so that we can meet sometime soon. So I was hoping to do it in December, but it's very short notice. So I'm going to have to see if we can do something in January. So with that being said, God bless everyone. Have an amazing weekend, and book your one-on-one so that we can review, you independently. And then book your calls with Dorsey and with Gerda, and just know that we're here. We're here for you.
How do
So
we get
bye.
in the Facebook?
Say that again.
How do we get into the Facebook group?
You need to get it. So can you go to the email, and the link for the Facebook is inside of the email.